Hey guys, wanted to do a quick review of the new Bleachers album, Gone Now. Bleachers obviously is the musical project of multi-instrumentalist producer-songwriter Jack Antonoff of Fun fame. Also, he's like Lena Dunham's significant other, I'm pretty sure. And this is his second album under this name. It's been getting a lot of hype, a lot of promotion, even from yours truly, because I think some of the singles leading up to this thing have been really good. I miss those days. And everybody loves somebody. Just like with his last album, you do get a lot of those very strong notes of 80s arena rock and pop music in there. Obviously a huge Springsteen fan, Jack is. And again, those are still here on this record, but I think the production on this record, the way these songs sound, it's a little less, I guess, contemporary commercial. You know, certainly the music here would be commercial by 80s standards. You know, it's not exactly trendy by the standards of 2017. So, you know, Jack is definitely sort of outside of that, or rather above that musical fray of the pop mainstream, I guess you could say. Even though he's writing, you know, pop music that is just kind of just defined in another era. Though I will say that the production on this thing, and this is maybe kind of the Achilles heel of the record, it's very compressed. It's a little overblown. I think it kind of smothers the dynamics of these songs, which is kind of a shame because I do think some of them are really well written. Something that wasn't so apparent to me as I was listening to one track at a time of this record, but as I listened to the entire thing, there are a lot of moments where I think the production does kind of wear on me as I sort of listen through to the entire album. It gets a little tiring just with everything being so fat and so loud and just so especially kind of like the with these some of the songs feeling as dynamic as they are. You know, it definitely feels like Jack could have eased up on the compression a little bit on some of these tracks, and I guess while I'm complaining, I'll say that some of his lyrics are maybe a little overly sentimental, a little overly sweet, especially on the Let's Get Married track. However, again, it has been nice on this record to kind of hear him write songs that are a little more mature, sonically and musically stray off the beaten path a little bit. And also in his music, I'm catching like more influences from like, you know, some of the indie elite of the 2000s. There are definitely moments where his vocals remind me of that of David Longstreth of Dirty Projectors fame. Maybe not quite as eccentric or as nasally, but I'm definitely catching an influence there. And he is certainly, you know, smoking whatever the hell Vampire Weekend is smoking on this record, because, you know, there's certainly I think a strong note of like Ezra's songwriting influence on this record. I'm pretty sure. But outside of that, you know, it just kind of feels like another standard record for Jack, you know, when comparing to his debut album. You know, if you like the debut, you're probably going to like what's going on here. You know, it's far from a perfect record. It's, you know, definitely a flawed album, not only with the production, not only with, you know, some of the lyrics being the way that they are, you know, also the track on here about not selling out. I mean, dude, you write songs for, like, big pop stars. Like, you're so well ingrained into the entertainment industry that, I mean, you know, you don't need to worry about selling out, or you're not in a position where, you know, you probably even feel forced to sell out. So it's kind of weird to hear him sort of doling out that message. But you know, whatever. I guess if you're going to, you know, put on a pop record that has a bit of a vintage vibe to it, a bit of an 80s vibe to it, and you're not going to think too hard about sort of the particulars of the production, and you're not going to think too hard about what's being said in all of the lyrics, you'll most likely enjoy what's going on here. You know, it's a solid pop record. It's just not really, I guess, a thinking man's pop record, I guess. And I will leave it at that. It's not a bad listen. You know, definitely some good tracks on here. You know, some good singles. You know, just there's some kind of shoddy deep cuts, I guess I'll say. And I'm going to leave it at that. Definitely came away more impressed with this than I did the last album. So I guess that's something to hope for, something to look forward to in the future. And hope you guys enjoyed this record a little bit more than me. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and I will catch you in the next video. Bleachers forever.